there, I'm Eliza with Ancestral Evolution. Today we're talking about wild edibles. This is the first of our wild edibles series, and we're going to be talking about trifoliate orange, otherwise known as flying dragon fruit. So this is actually a citrus that you can grow up to USDA hardiness zone 6. So most other citruses have to be at least zone 8, if not zone 9. And this one can grow outside up to zone 6. It is considered sort of an invasive species, so if you don't already have it in your area, you probably do not want to plant it. Or if you do, you want to be very careful about where you plant it. Originally from sort of northern China, northern Korea, this plant is something that was used medicinally for its anti-inflammatory properties. More recently, it's been used sort of ornamentally and as a barrier hedge because it has very large thorns on it. It can keep out deer and also roving college students if you have those in your area. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the plant and about the fruits and what you can do with them. We mostly like to use them for juice to put in water or tea or something like that, but there are some other things you can do with them too. So let's take a closer look at some of the leaves and branches on this tree. So these things have giant thorns on them. This one is probably pushing 3 inches and they are sharp. So if you handle these plants, be careful. You can get poked in a hurry. It's called a trifoliate orange and it's tri for 3 leaves. 1, 2, 3. And this thing actually will lose its leaves in the wintertime like other deciduous trees will. And so the leaves will fall off and then it'll get new leaves in the springtime. The fruit starts falling off the tree usually around mid-fall, and when it does, you know it's about time to harvest. So these guys are, what, about 2 centimeters, and they smell citrusy if you smell them. But unlike other citrus that kind of have a smooth, kind of shiny texture, these guys are fuzzy. They're almost like a peach on the outside. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these. It's fine to pick them up off the ground too, as long as they're not rotten. They'll stay good on the ground for a decently long time, as long as it's not super wet. So here's our fruit. I picked up most of these off the ground and just the lower branches, but as you can see, we've got a decent haul. So we're gonna take these to the kitchen and open them up and show you what they look like. All right, so we got a pretty good haul here of our flying dragon fruits, and you can see kind of how big these are. This is the biggest one we've got, so about golf ball sized, but there are also like some smaller ones too. They kind of range. So we're going to cut this open and take a look. So these things have a lot of seeds in them. As you can see, got a ton here. So that limits the usefulness of these fruits somewhat, but they are still great as used for just juice. Some people also make marmalade out of this. And then I was also reading that some people make like a syrup or something like that. But we mostly just use the juice in water or beverages of various types. So what I do is after I cut them in half, I just use one of these citrus juicer dealios in the smallest part. I just squeeze them into a glass jar. It is important to use glass for this because this is quite acidic, as you might imagine. It's kind of a similar acidity to lemon juice, but it has a little bit of a different flavor to it. It's actually very, very pleasant and sort of unique. You don't need a lot of juice though to flavor a drink. For instance, if I were making a drink out of this, I would just use probably the juice of 1 flying dragon fruit. That's probably sufficient. If you use too much, it just gets kind of overpowering and not so good. So anyway, I'm gonna keep cutting these and juicing them, and then I'm going to stick them in my jar in my fridge. So There you go. As always, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe down below. We'll see you soon.